Nights at Freddy's stars Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lail, Piper Rubio, Matthew Lillard, and is directed by Emma Tammy. A troubled security guard begins working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. After spending his first night on the job, he realizes the late shift at Freddy's won't be so easy to make it through. I've never played the video game, so I'm not very familiar with the lore, but I did visit Chuck E. Cheese many a time as a kid and always had a blast. But there was also always this element of creepiness whenever Chuck E. Cheese and his gang started rocking out on stage. So I always found the premise of Five Nights at Freddy's perfect for the horror genre, whether it be a survival video game or a movie adaptation. And the franchise has a big following, so they're obviously doing things right. The movie isn't great, but it isn't terrible either. The things that really stood out to me were the look and the feel of the movie. When it comes to horror movies, I'm extremely big on atmosphere and tension, and I think the movie really nailed the atmosphere. Again, I'm not well versed in the games, so I can't speak to how accurately it captures the spirit of the game, but the movie alone does a great job. The cinematography was awesome, with vibrant colors that were somewhat muted at the same time, if that makes any sense. The combination really gives off this feel of a twisted children's playhouse that I really appreciated. The music was dark and ominous with a touch of childlike innocence to it that perfectly matched the tone of the movie. Josh Hutcherson was really strong in this role, giving a much more subdued, reserved performance, playing a bit of a tortured soul, which I'm not really accustomed to seeing him play. So it was a refreshing change of pace, and he did an excellent job. Elizabeth Lail and Piper Rubio gave solid, serviceable performances. And even though Matthew Lillard was given a very small amount of screen time, he made the absolute most of it, and it was great to see him shine in a familiar sort of role. Horror junkies will know what I'm talking about. With the aesthetics and the acting being the strengths of the movie, I felt that the story is where the movie sort of falters. There are parts of the movie that I don't want to say get repetitive, but sort of flat lines and stalls a bit, with the plot not really progressing. And I feel that's the pitfall of most video game movie adaptations, where the gameplay is the priority and story is secondary, so it can be a bit difficult to translate onto the big screen. When the main antagonist is revealed, it's kind of out of left field. You don't really see it coming, and you never really find out his motives or the reasoning behind his actions. I'm sure that plot point is revealed in the video game, but in the movie it's never really mentioned. He just appears as the evil bad guy. So the mystery of it all is a bit anticlimactic, along with his demise. When he gets taken down, it's a bit lackluster. I also think that the movie suffers from the same syndrome as Venom and Morbius, where it should have been rated R. I mean, the movie does do a decent job at pushing the limits of a PG-13 rating, but the violence had the potential to be really awesome, considering how sadistically cool the animatronic characters looked and how they could have utilized them more effectively. But that's just my inner gorehound talking. Whenever there's an opportunity for more blood and guts, I always choose more blood and guts. They still looked really cool regardless. All in all, it was a pretty fun experience. I really enjoyed the look and tone of the movie, and I imagine fans of the video game will be pretty satisfied with that aspect of the film. The acting was pretty good across the board, with Hutcherson being the highlight. To me, the story is the main weakness, with parts of it going a bit flat, having a few unresolved plot points, but I still had a pretty good time with it. And if your worst nightmare is Sesame Street going schizophrenic, I think you'll have a good time with it too.